Hey Ferrari fans, Formula One fans, we got another one of these Kyosho Daido kits to come in, and this is of the 1970 season 312B. I can't read any of that, but the back has some all the statistics. Let's see what it says here. I'm looking at a 3-liter flat 12 engine, making around 460 horsepower. It's rolling on 13-inch fronts. Well, it says 14-inch. Maybe the rears are 14-inch. It says 14 or 15. That's kind of weird. See here it says 1013R. I always thought that 13 was the wheel diameter, but then it does say 14 to 15 here. And then the rear, oh, I don't understand what's going on here. What's this 12.5, 26, 0.15? Maybe the sizing of F1 tires goes by a different pattern. I don't know. It's saying this car's only 550 kilos. That's pretty light. I think it's a pretty small car. If you want to pause the video, here are the other cars in this collection. I have a few of them, but we'll see. I'll compare them. I'm gonna pause away as I put this model kit together. Well, it wasn't too hard to put this thing together, so I mean, there's only like 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces to put the thing together. So it's an interesting looking F1 car. I've never seen this thing before. I don't really follow F1. I'm not an F1 aficionado. I'm just collecting these cars to learn about other real cars, I guess. And I thought this was an interesting one to look at. Unfortunately, according to Wikipedia, this thing only raced between 1970 and 1975, where it entered 70 races, and it only won 10 races out of 70, so not the most successful car for Ferrari. I guess in 1975, though, the third variation maybe, it won the championship. Niki Lauda was the driver, and then they also won the constructors championship. So that could have been in the 312B3, which is a variation of this. This would be considered, I guess, the B1, and there was a B2 as well, and then a B3. So, okay, well, statistically, I guess it had a flat Boxer 12 engine, and that's why it's called a 312B. It has 12 cylinders in a opposing Boxer position. And then it was making up to 460 horsepower according to the card, but well, I guess that's pretty powerful for a car that doesn't weigh too much. Alright, well, looking at these details here as I talk, and they're interesting. These must be representations of rivets, I guess. All these bumps, right? But I just kind of feel like they're too big. I don't know why Kyosho chose to make the rivets so huge. It just seems unnecessary. They could have easily made the bumps twice as small, and I think they still would have been shown up after paint. Or maybe have divots instead of protrusions. I don't know. Okay, well, I do like these tires. They got a nice tread on them, and actually they're staggered in their size. Look at this footprint. It's so weird looking compared to today's F1 cars. Alright, so now I think we have some decals. This seems to be the case on the Kyosho F1 cars, or these Daidos. You see the wrinkliness and that clear edge around the 3, so these are fragile decals that might crack off someday. But this white thing here looks like a tampo. That's hard to say. No, I think this is a tampo. I just think that this is a decal. I think the Firestone thing's a decal as well. Definitely the shell thing. You can even see the edge of the decal there. Okay, well, we got some silver paint to represent the clear windscreen. Just a plain black seat in there. This is an interesting feature. I think these are the radiators back here. I couldn't actually pull up photos of the real car from the rear view, so I'm just kind of speculating from the lame photos I did find that these are actually radiators, and these white things are covers, channeling the air into those radiators. So it's interesting that they would put those radiators way back there. And then, well, on the real car, there'd be a bunch of exhaust pipes coming out here, and they'd curl up and shoot out the back, I'm guessing. But I find it interesting to have these super long suspension arms. Those two and these things here. What is this? I imagine maybe this is a duct or something to feed air into the brakes. That's what I'm guessing, but I don't know for sure. Okay. And then what? I don't know what this is. Is this like the? I don't know. I was wondering if it's the transmission or the differential, but it's so far behind the rear axle. Maybe it's just a bunch of electronics or something. Oh, yeah, I see. So there's Kyosho's idea of the exhaust pipes. So, yeah, in this case, the exhaust pipes are kicking up into the air. Again, I wish I could have found some images of the rear view, but I'm guessing that's the exhaust pipe sending the noise upwards. Maybe that's better for the crowds. Okay. So it's just weird to see, like, look at this wing. I mean, it's so narrow, and just how they incorporated it. It's like the bridging the gap between old non-winged F1 cars and then the more modern ones that have wings all over. So that seems to be what's going on with this one in 1970. Alright, well, I don't really have much else to talk about. The gold wheels are alright. These things have these exposed steel axles, and it's nice to see that it will tell you what the car is, what year it raced, and then also this model is from 2004. So considering this is from 2004, the paint and the decals are in pretty good shape. I mean, especially for red. This could have been a total disaster with paint rash, but seems to be okay, so I'm pretty happy now. Okay, well, let's I'll just put a couple of other F1 cars next to this right here. Actually, let me pan out a little bit, because I got three. So this other car here these are all from Kyosho or Daido. This is from 1951. It's called a 375 F1. So they're, no wings way back in the 50s. And then this next one is from 1964, and it's the 158 F1. These are all Ferrari cars. And then the next one is coming later. This would be a 1979 Ferrari 312 T4. Okay. Alright, so I think now it's a pretty good picture, even though it's a pretty big gap between the 50s and the late 70s. But you can see, looks like one of those belly tank racers. Or belly tank racers look like that. I don't know what you think is more important. And then they slimmed it down, and then it slimmed down, but they started to add some downforce with the wings. And then we're getting into the modern age, of course, where now the radiators are actually hidden within the bodywork. So that's what I like about these little cars. It's just, look at that evolution. It's interesting. Okay. Alright, well, if you like looking at strangely shaped vehicles, I think these little F1 cars are a pretty cool thing to get from Kyosho or Daido. It's not really hard to put these model kits together. It took me like 5 minutes or less. The hardest part was just the paint was a little sticky, so it's hard to screw in. Alright, well then, I guess we should still give it its rightful spin on the coaster here. And there's a photo of it again. So, it's neat. I like it. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next Ferrari F1 review.